But I want you to know this. The philosophy is this. If you sit there and you do nothing and they running over your children and you just sit there, remember what Frederick Douglass said? Agitate, agitate, agitate. Nothing conceives power but demand. It never has and never will. So if you just sit there and say, oh, I'm so embarrassed, I can't do that, this is terrible, Mrs. Moore is always jumping up and doing this, there's Malik Shabazz, there's some of you. Well, let me tell you this, you're part of the problem. Because you sit there and let them do horrible things to your children. So I'm going to say there's a man in the back of the room that's going to be in the front of the room, and he is our leader, Minister Malik Shabazz, and I want you all to give him a raving hand of applause.
Let's give the Queen Mother another hand. I'm going to ask everybody to please stand, raise your fists real tight in the Black Power symbol. Repeat after me. One God, one aim, one people, one destiny. Race first, our race first. The black race first. Self-reliance, African nationhood. Revolution is the hope or the hopeless. All right, let's give God a big black hand. Let's give Claude Anderson another hand. You may be seated. I'm going to be very brief because we want to bring up the keynote address to you. But first of all, let's give ourselves a big hand for coming out tonight on a Friday night. We're not at the club trying to get our groove on. You're not watching Days of White Folks' Lives, Lifestyles of the White, Rich, Jewish, and Famous, and as the white world turns, you've come together with your brothers and with your sisters to share in knowledge, to share in love, and to receive knowledge. Amen? And that's a sacred and a holy thing. Give yourself a hand. I want to say very, very quickly that we're in a struggle. We are in a struggle for the survival of our people. We are fighting for the minds and we are fighting for the hearts of our people. And we are not going to allow white folks, the enemy, the devil, whatever the case may be, or any European house Negroes to win the minds and the hearts of our people. Amen? To those who came, that's right, you know you should applaud that. To those who came Saturday to that great, great program and were disappointed by a certain event that went there, I want to say that you have been heard and you have been felt. Amen? However, we want to, let's give God a hand. However, the main focus needs to be the main focus. And we as African people, black people, have to learn to keep the main thing as the main thing and not get sidetracked by substandard issues. Amen? The main thing is that hundreds of black people came together on a Saturday at a black hospital. Somebody give God a hand. The main thing is that Don Barden got together with Tom Pope and Dr. Claude Anderson, and he's going to back them up. Let's give God a hand. That's the main thing. And we know that Tom Pope and we know that Dr. Claude Anderson, with the great things that they have done, are doing, and are planning to do, need some backing. Amen? That is the main thing. We're not going to allow our enemies to step in and to take advantage of a situation. Amen? And that's what they're doing. Everybody is just waiting on the Community Coalition or the New Marcus Garvey Movement or the Black Slate to mess up, to make a mistake so that they can say, see, I told you so. See, I told you that those niggas was no good. Am I right about it? Because a lot of you have heard some mess before Saturday's program, at Saturday's program, and since Saturday's program. But sometimes you got to say, get behind me, Satan. Amen? Because, see, the bottom line is we are united and we're going to free our people and we're going to set up heaven on earth. We're not talking about pie in the sky and the sweet by and by. When we die, we are going to have heaven on earth. We're going to have some good homes on this earth. We're going to have some money and some wealth on this earth. Amen? God does not want black people to be poor. Amen? God don't want us on welfare. The white folks want us on welfare. God doesn't want us dependent on affirmative action from the white man. The best affirmative action we can set up is the action that you and I unite and affirm ourselves. Amen? God does not want crack houses in your and my community. And we're going to shut down the crack houses, and we're going to shut down the devilish government that brings the crack into this country. Amen? God doesn't want us to live that way. God doesn't want us buying food with food stamps. God doesn't want Hassan to own every store in our community, to own every gas station in our community. God does not want people who come here from another part of the world on the bottom part of the equator, from Korea or Vietnam, to come here and to sell us hair grease, brushes, and combs. We can do that for ourselves. Amen? God does not want us to have Chinese restaurants in the black community, yet nobody in this room knows one Chinese person that lives on their block. Am I lying? Am I lying? I think we can make some egg foo young. Amen? Who can cook better than the black woman? Give these black women a hand. Who can cook better than the black woman? We can make our own egg foo young. We can make our own shrimp rolls. Your own duck and geese or whatever the case may be. Kentucky Fried Chickens in all over our community. Who makes better chicken than the black woman? Than a black grandmother? Than a black mother? Than a black aunt? Somebody give these black women another hand. We got to honor these women, amen? Who can look after you better than a black woman? When you're a little boy and your nose is running, who wipes the snot off your nose? Who sits up all night and puts a thermostat in your mouth and takes your temperature and puts hot, cold rags on you to lower your temperature than a black woman? Somebody give these black women another hand. Can't nobody look after us better than a black woman, amen? And in my conclusion, beloved family, we must understand that the black woman is the mother of all civilization. When you read in the Bible and you hear about Adam and Eve, I'm here to tell you, beloved family, they were black people in the middle of Africa. Life originated at the Great Lakes region. You hear about the Great Lakes here in Michigan? Never mind that. The Great Lakes region in Africa is where life began. The scholars, the anthropologists have studied looking for the origin of man. They went into Europe. They went into China. For a minute, they hung around with the Peking man. But then they found somebody in Africa. They found the bones of a black woman in Africa dating back over 4 million years old. A 4-foot tall black woman who they said was jet black. And they said she had that good hair, that thick, tight, coarse, nappy hair. Ain't that good hair? Somebody give God a hand. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking that the closer your hair is, the white folks is good hair. All hair is good because God doesn't make any junk. Amen? But it's from that little 4-foot tall black woman over 4 million years ago. The white folks call her Lucy. The Africans call her Dakanish, that we originated from. Somebody needs to give God a big black hand. And they tested the bones. From those bones, they went to scientists at the University of California at Berkeley in 1987, tested the mitochondria DNA of 247 different people living all over the planet. Some were black, some were yellow, some were red, some were brown, some were like my man, the golf player, what's his name, Tiger Woods? Cobbling Asians or whatever the hell that is. Some of them claim that, you know? I mean, some people want to be European Negroes in 99, amen? And we just have to pray for them and kick their butt at the same time while we're praying, amen? But they tested this DNA of people living all over the planet. Some of them were rich, some of them were poor. Your socioeconomic status did not matter. And they found that life originated from that black woman 4 million years ago. Somebody give God a big black hand. They found the bones of a black man in Africa. Leakey, one of the world's greatest Caucasian scholars, he called him Zinjanthropus, Boise. Zinj meaning black and anthropus coming from the Greek word meaning man. And he said that this black man is the father of the entire planet and that he existed over 2 million years ago. Somebody give God a big black hand. We built up great civilizations. We built up